The day after the 2014 midterm election, Senator Mitch McConnell, the presumed new majority leader, laid out his vision for the new Republican Senate. Energy was a top issue.
I always like to remind people that divided government is not unusual in this country. We've had it frequently, I think maybe even more often than not since World War II. When the American people choose divided government, I don't think it means they don't want us to do anything. The Senate in the last few years basically doesn't do anything. We don't even vote. Senator Begich, who may have been defeated yesterday, had the handicap of trying to explain to the people of Alaska why in 6 years he hadn't had a roll call vote on the floor on an amendment. The first thing I need to do is to get the Senate back to normal. And that means working more. I don't think we've had any votes on Friday in anybody's memory. It means opening the Senate up so that amendments are permitted on both sides. And it means occasionally burning the midnight oil in order to reach a conclusion. Now, having said that, there are differences. And we will certainly be voting on things as well that we think the administration is not fond of. They seem to have had no interest, for example, in doing anything serious on the energy front. We haven't had an energy bill in 7 years. When you say energy these days, people think of the Keystone Pipeline, but that's only part of it. We need to embrace the energy revolution that's going on in our country, promote it. It's hugely advantageous to America, not only in the area of energy independence, but employment. I mean, the employment figures connected with Keystone are stunning if we would just get going. So there's certainly going to be areas of disagreement, but that's not unusual going back to the founding of the country.
Just a few minutes after the senator's speech, the president shared his own views on what the election meant, including looking at some energy issues.
Today I had a chance to speak with John Boehner and congratulated Mitch McConnell on becoming the next Senate Majority Leader. And I told them both that I look forward to finishing up this Congress's business and then working together for the next 2 years to advance America's business. And I very much appreciated Leader McConnell's words last night about the prospect of working together to deliver for the American people. Now, obviously, Republicans had a good night, and they deserve credit for running good campaigns. Beyond that, I'll leave it to all of you and the professional pundits to pick through yesterday's results. I plan on spending every moment of the next 2+ years doing my job the best I can to keep this country safe and to make sure that more Americans share in its prosperity. Now, this country's made real progress since the crisis 6 years ago. The fact is, more Americans are working. Unemployment has come down. More Americans have health insurance. Manufacturing has grown. Our deficits have shrunk. Our dependence on foreign oil is down, as are gas prices. Our graduation rates are up. Our businesses aren't just creating jobs at the fastest pace since the 1990s. Our economy is outpacing most of the world.
So Republicans haven't made a mystery about some of the things they intend to say.
Do I have to write all these down?
You're very well familiar with these. These will not be mysteries to you.
But you know,
Keystone XL pipeline. They will send you legislation on that.
On Keystone, there's an independent process. It's moving forward, and I'm going to let that process play out. I've given some parameters in terms of how I think about it. Ultimately, is this going to be good for the American people? Is it going to be good for their pocketbook? Is it going to actually create jobs? Is it actually going to reduce gas prices that have been coming down? And is it going to be on net something that doesn't increase climate change that we're going to have to grapple with? There's a pending case before a Nebraska judge about some of the siting. The process is moving forward, and I'm just going to gather up the facts. I will note, while this debate about Canadian oil has been raging, keep in mind this is Canadian oil, this isn't U.S. oil. While that debate has been raging, we've seen some of the biggest increases in American oil production and American natural gas production in our history. We are closer to energy independence than we've ever been before, or at least as we've been in decades. We are importing less foreign oil than we produce for the first time in a very long time. We've got a 100-year supply of natural gas that, if we responsibly tap, puts us in the strongest position when it comes to energy of any industrialized country around the world. When I travel to Asia or I travel to Europe, their biggest envy is the incredible homegrown U.S. energy production that is producing jobs and attracting manufacturing, because locating here means you've got lower energy costs. So our energy sector is booming. And I'm happy to engage Republicans with additional ideas for how we can enhance that. I should note that our clean energy production is booming as well. And so Keystone I just consider as one small aspect of a broader trend that's really positive for the American people.